Right, hello everybody. I hope you've all had a good week. Hope you've not been blown around too much. It's been a bit blowy, bit windy. It's been a bloody nightmare, if we're honest, isn't it, chaps? But look, let's get straight round the table. We'll come to our guests shortly, but let's start with Nigel, looking very, 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 very Christmassy there, me old China. What's going on there then?
Yes, I've got my Christmas tree up. It's been a good weekend. Bit of a weekend of shock results. I've had a good night at the Grapes last night. Been a good weekend overall, apart from the weather.
Quality. Darren, as always, looking good.
Hi guys. Well, I couldn't be outdone by Callie, so as the credits were rolling, I quickly just plugged something in, and it's going to be out of shot, but there you go, Callie. Have some of that. but I'm all right, Gaz. I'm all right. Had a good, bit limited football this week, but luckily, I'm sure you'll touch on it later. I was at Field's game yesterday, so thank goodness for some footy.
Yeah, absolutely. And welcome back to Mr. Phil Kavanagh. Been with us before. We had quite a few audio issues. Phil, ex-Burnley, Northampton, Kevin Town. Who else was it?
Gillingham, Northampton.
Burnley was your main one, wasn't it? Really,
yeah,
that was your big one, wasn't it? But great to have you back on. And you are currently now the vice chairman of, is it Arsley?
Yes.
And we'll talk a bit more about your day yesterday in a bit. But yeah, you've been on before. You know the drill, Phil. We talk football, don't we? But let's just touch on your club a little bit then before we crack on with the show. So, what league are Arsley in then? And how are you doing?
Step five.
Step five. How are you getting on this season?
Very good. We've had our best start in 10 years. I've only been there as vice chairman for about 18 months.
Yeah, that's a lovely little ground.
Yeah, it's great. We've got a conference set up. It's a great setup.
Yeah, and
I appointed a new manager, Tommy Cooney, who's been fantastic. Because our budget's rubbish. Like most, we haven't got any very rich sponsors or.
Yeah.
So no, it's going. We're third top.
Excellent. Well, we're gonna talk a little bit about the fact that we're getting out and about an awful lot more now and doing our website articles at clubs. That we've now decided that's going to be the way forward for us. So we're going to talk about that later because we've had quite a lot of busy discussions going on this weekend with various clubs and everything. So I'm going to give everyone an update on that. But Phil, we must come to you and do an article on your club, without a doubt. We'd love to get down. So I guess that's all right with you. We'll look at fixture lists and arrange a trip.
100%. I mean, Darren comes. He's been a few times. We welcome anybody.
Yeah. No,
so,
definitely. All right. Well, we'll sort that out maybe after the show or in the week, and I'll have a look through your fixture list. Okay. Well, look, let's crack on with, first of all, let's say to people, let's share us everywhere, people. Please get involved. It's about you as well as us. We're just fans, or obviously ex-pros as well. But yeah, it is all about you guys as well. So please get involved. Just drop a comment into whichever platform you're watching this on. And you want to talk about something, you want to ask questions, fire away and crack into it. Just firstly, let's say good evening to Jordan Pollard, Andrew Lovegrove. Thanks for joining us, chaps. And let's look forward to a cracking show, shall we? Right, top of the agenda, weather, I think. What has been going on with the weather in this country? When would you have ever dreamed that the Merseyside derby would be cancelled? Mad.
For weather.
Right? It has been naughty. Now, I've got some bits and bobs here that I'm going to show a few of you. First of all, let's have a look at this. This is a bit of footage of a game, and I think this is more the rain than the wind affecting the game, which ends in this goal. But I think it sums it up a little bit for a lot of clubs. So that eventually goes on. Oh dear. And to be fair, what else have we got? Now I believe you might know where this corner flag is, Phil. Obviously, the corner flag's not standing up very well, and that was at your game yesterday, I believe.
It was.
And one of the few games in that league that went on, I suspect. Now, obviously, we'll just touch on the win because there's a really sad story, and I did have a picture which I will get up. I'll have to re-put it on. I know I've got it, but before we do, obviously, quite a few fans making the journey. This is Die Hard. Now, all right, this is a bit of fun. Yeah. Oh, the lengths people go. No, that isn't actually people going to football, but I thought it was funny.
No, that's real. That's in Devon today.
Sorry?
That was in Devon today. People, the wind.
Yeah, that is relevant to the weather. Absolutely. Yeah. But it just shows you. I mean, obviously, the whole of Wales, we know the Everton game was called off. I mean, Welsh was shut. The Wales games were shut down altogether. Cardiff-Watford was cancelled on the Friday. Anything along that west coast got knocked on the head. But the real story that comes out of all this is this poor fella here, Everton supporter from Melbourne, Australia, spent his life savings, come over for the game. Now, obviously, he'd been before, so it ain't the first time. But yeah, obviously this young Everton lad, I think that's him anyway. That's but yeah, I think it cost him about £1,500 to fly over for the Merseyside derby. And oh dear, what a shame. I bet the club do something. They ought to, hadn't they?
They have, Gaz.
Right.
Yeah, Seamus Coleman of Everton got in touch with him via social media, and he's invited the lad to Everton's training tomorrow.
Okay. Right.
Although it's not actually a match experience, I guess it's the second best thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
really? Yeah. So fair play
it's
to
probably
Everton.
an unbelievable thing for him. He's going to get to meet all these heroes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good. That's good then. So that's turned into a good news story then.
Yeah, not all in vain, is it? That trip, after all.
And didn't Phil, you have to clear the water off your pitch to get your game going ahead?
Yeah. We were down there about 2 hours before the game, sweeping the water. In that corner where the flag was, that's where all the water gathers from the bank behind.
Right.
So we have a pump on, but we also have to just sweep it off. But yeah, it was okay.
Wow.
You've done an amazing job. The ground staff, Phil, the volunteers, you. Yeah.
There's just not enough. There's just not enough, you know.
I mean, in all honesty, obviously there's many games that got called off, including those that were on, Harbour Town with their 3G pitch called off. And so to get your game on grass, that was good. Yeah, well done. Well done to the grounds people.
Played well, didn't it, Darren? Played well.
It did. Yeah. I was surprised how well it was. But yeah, I think it was it was the only match in the area that has actually went ahead on grass, wasn't it, Phil?
I think there was one more in the league, just down the road from us.
Right.
That was there's only 2 games. That was it.
Yeah.
Right. So let's have a look here. Okay. So let me just pop this up. This is from Jordan Pollard. Have any of you guys seen the FA Cup fixtures for the 3rd round?
Yeah,
Peterborough United away to Everton on a Thursday night. You're not the only team away on a Thursday night as well. I know that Watford are at Fulham on a Thursday night. Well,
Gary, on Talk Sport, they've been talking about the fact that Ashley Young could be playing against his son.
Yes. I was going to mention that actually. Yeah, that's mad, isn't it? So, and because it is someplace Peterborough, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's not a regular though, so they're on about, everybody wants it to happen, but they were saying at the same time,
Yeah,
if the lad took somebody's place in the team that was a better player,
yeah.
if
If he's on the bench and maybe
Yeah.
gets the last 5 minutes against his
Yeah.
old man, is that history making? Do you
yeah,
think?
that would be history. Ashley did say he'd love to either play with his son, same team, or against him.
Wow.
It nearly happened in international football once on the same team, but not quite, because the Icelandic national team, you remember Eidur Johnson, played for Chelsea, didn't he, amongst others? He came on for his dad. His dad came off and he came on, and that was his first appearance in international football. So I think that was the closest that's happened, in international level.
I mean, he's 39 years old now, Ashley.
Yeah. I mean, he's still playing top flight football at that age. That's some going.
Is that all?
I played in the same team as my dad in Australia.
Oh, really?
My dad played for Perth City when I was 15, and I used to go training with them, and I played a whole game with them, and my mum went mad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just on here, Jordan Pollard put here as well. One of the directors has released a statement and sent a letter to the FA, but we know they won't change anything.
Gaz, let me just say, I saw online. So Liverpool are at home to Accrington Stanley on the Saturday, and Everton are at home to Peterborough on the Thursday. Now the Peterborough fans have got a 3.5 hour journey, and there won't be any trains back. And Accrington's only an hour away from Liverpool. They might have their own reasons, but I don't know what it is. It seems madness, doesn't it?
I was hoping to be happy tonight, but it's already winding me up. And do you know what? It's just another example of how the FA do not give a flying beep about the fans. They don't. If they did, they would look at that scenario. You're absolutely right. You would look at that scenario and go, well, put the Liverpool. But you know what it's about, don't you? It's about the fact that they probably get a few more quid in for the Liverpool one on a Saturday rather than a Thursday. So screw the fans. We're going to make 100 grand more or whatever. You know what I mean? No.
Got to be. Yeah,
get me on my soapbox again, mate. Get me on. But thanks for that, Jordan. Anyone else want to pop any comments, questions on? Absolutely far away. But, don't worry, Jordan. No, I love it when you wind me up. Not you personally, but, that's what I love, to have a pop at the FA all the time. It's madness, absolute madness. But
Darren knows my opinion on the FA.
Well,
I certainly do, mate.
Phil, I've not come across many people that don't share my opinion. I've got to be honest with you, And saying that, let's just crack on a little bit, because I want to cover off some of the fixtures that we've seen over the weekend, from the Premiership down to the FA Trophy. There you go. I was looking forward to going to Goodison Park for the first time. Nigel, I don't know if you've got to have a break. But for the first time before they leave the stadium. It does mean there's a lot. We're going to go back on this now, aren't we? But it does mean there's a lot of fans that can't go to that game now.
Yeah.
Work and also FA Cup on a Thursday night. I know a lot of the Watford fans are saying Thursday night, again, all right, that's more local. You can't argue overly too much about the locality, but that probably still will stop a lot of fans being able to go at the game.
Yeah.
Just another nail that the FA tried put in the FA Cup. Just another one, Anyway, before we move along to other things, let me just quickly go back to Phil's Arsley Town game, and there was some goals scored. Tell us a little bit about this goal, then I'll show everyone, Phil.
Well, because Tommy's a really good player. I mean, he's only 28, 29, but he wants to manage more than play. but we're actually got quite a lot of injuries. So he put himself on the bench. And what Tommy is, he's Irish, he's vocal, he's a real character. And he just thought that he needed to be on the pitch in the second half to direct. We were 1 down, and then so we got a free kick about 40 yards out. And he stood with one of the other guys and he said to him, he said, I fancy this. I fancy this. The keeper's up to his right a little bit, and he just boom. And the next thing, top corner. It was
Here we go. Shall we see the goal? Let's see it. Okay, folks, I'm going to play that again because you've got to watch it. It literally, the footage is from literally when his foot hits the ball. So I'm going to play that again for you. And that might have broke up for us guys, but it wouldn't have broke up for people watching, by the way. There you go. Cracking goal. Absolutely cracking. Great goal. Right. Okay. So I've got a few things. So let me tell you how the rest of the show is going to go, folks. So in a moment, we are going to cover off a subject on this potential new rule change. Then we'll go and do Gary, what's the score? With my new little bit that I've got for that Darren finds really amusing. And we'll cover off some of the scores. And then I've got a few bits and bobs to go over with everyone. And we'll do a Q&A at the end. Any questions for any of us? But obviously we've got Nigel there and we've got Phil. And we'll just touch on Phil's old club, Burnley, for him as well, a little bit later on in the show. So let's crack on with this. I'm going to bring it up now. It's something we've highlighted it on our Facebook page. So they are considering a new rule change whereby if a goalkeeper is wasting time, the referee he'll have 8 seconds and then the referee will give a corner. Gentlemen, I'm going to start with you, Nigel. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I think it's a good idea. I mean, I do think goalkeepers do a fair bit of time wasting, but it would certainly speed the game up a little bit, wouldn't it?
Darren?
What a bloody waste of time. Seriously, there's a rule in place. There's a rule in place right now that it's an indirect free kick if the goalkeepers hang on to the ball. And they do. We see it all the time. Nothing ever gets done. Why is it going to change now? Complete and utter folly. Waste of time. The referees just need to grow a pair and start. As soon as they start, this rules came in with the idea of the referees were a bit nervous to give a clear goal scoring chance for a goalkeeper for time wasting. But as soon as the goal gets let in through this time wasting from a free kick, they'll soon learn. But unfortunately, the referees haven't got the stomach or the bottle to basically enforce the laws. So yeah, load of rubbish.
Phil?
Well, no, I just think if they're wasting time, just book them. And if they waste time again, send them off. You've got so many seconds. If you don't comply, then book them. And then send them off. Just get on with it.
Yeah. Well, my view is I'm sick and deaf of change after change after change in our game. The game is already looking completely different to whatever the game looked like when I fell in love with it. And to me, I was just sick of changes. So whatever the change is, I just wish I'd leave the game alone. That's my view. My personal view, that is. Just want a quick shout out. Good evening to Ian Els from Kilmarnock. Nick Paul's on. Hope you're doing well, Nick. Thanks for joining us tonight. Jordan Pollard, just comment on that. This is all just for the top leagues. Everything in football is for the top leagues. Everything that they decide, everything they do, it only revolves around a small percentage of clubs in this country. And I think that's a fact. I don't think that is any way I don't know. We're getting quite a bit into that, Nige. Go on, mate. Sorry, I lost my way then. Yeah, I think that's a fact. I don't think anyone can disagree with that. That these all the changes that they're bringing into the game only affects really the top end teams. It's all for them.
It's always funny though, isn't it? When they experiment these, it's like they'll find an under-21 league to trial it and stuff like that, you know. And like you say, Gaz, it's probably down to the top end of the game, i.e. the Premier League. People have probably been moaning about this and about that. So the lawmakers probably want to bend over to satisfy them, basically. Yeah, just football nowadays.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know that old saying? Football's an easy game. Why make it hard?
Yeah,
that's what happens, isn't it?
But I'll tell you something as well with this law. I believe that once the referee, it's 8 seconds. So when it gets to 5 seconds in the referee's head, they've also got to count down for the goalkeeper to basically go like that. You know, so you've got to release that ball in 3 seconds. It's just a load of old bloody tosh. You know what I mean? Because the referee, when the goalie's got the ball in his hand, the referee's running back to the halfway line. A player might just end up having a chat with the referee, or like, "Hey, ref, you know, the linesman wants you," or something like that. Anything to distract the mind so they can time waste a bit more. It's pathetic.
You know, actually, it's a good opportunity for me to promote something I'm working on currently. But I'm going to put this to you guys first. Modern day football, we've all got our opinions on it. I think certainly the younger generation wouldn't know much different unless they've been brought up by their old man who's telling them what it was like back in the day, son. And, you know, they want to taste a bit of that. And do you think that football, I think we know this answer, but do you feel that they're making football for the armchair supporter, not for the fan that goes week in, week out and sits there and you would like to think cheers the team on? Do you think it is now being constructed around the armchair supporter because they know the money's from TV and COVID proved it, and not from bums on seats? The only reason they want bums on seats is because it gives it an atmospheric feel to what people watch. But the whole construction of football, for me, feels like we're going down, and it's going to be a version of FIFA 2024 game rather than a community sport that, okay, this might sound a little bit wrong, but, you know, go back 40 years, it was father and son getting away out the house for the Saturday afternoon down there. It was a man's game, you know. There was women at football, but 90% it would be father and son, and now you know, I don't know. This is why I think so many people are disillusionized. You know, what are your views on what that element is? Football now being constructed for people to watch it on the telly.
Well, it's not just now. It's been going on for about the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So,
but the construction is going on as
it
we
is,
speak.
yeah. I mean,
it started then. It's slowly getting to a point where, you know, people sit at home and bring up a stat. How many headers did he have? And you know, that's what I mean. Football Manager, isn't it? You know,
well, you're right. It's like now you've got Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
you've got the red button. You know, you can watch any game. Everybody's getting hooky sticks so they can watch things for free. I'm much happier watching matches, other than if it's Newcastle, which is my team, or maybe Burnley. I'm happier watching Match of the Day the next day.
Yeah.
And I just forward it on to the game. I don't listen to all the crap and all the statistics.
A lot of people are doing that. They cut. Yeah, a lot of people are doing that.
It's just boring.
It's too much of it, isn't it? It's like you just want to see the goals and the highlights, don't you? You're not bothered about
how many
stupid
touches
like-
you had, and yeah, how many miles you ran.
I just want to, yeah. I mean, it's going to lead me into something else, and there's something I'm working on. Let me just pop this up. So, Mark, I've got a feeling. Mark, are you the director at Nuneaton? If so, just pop yes on here, because I don't know, I can't remember your second name, but I've got a feeling this is Mark from Nuneaton. I might be wrong. Just if you could pop on there, yes or no. Buying a TV package doesn't make you a supporter. 100%, 100%. You know, Nick Paul there, totally agreeing. Yes, it is. So Mark's going to, let me just say, Mark's going to be joining us next week, people. It's going to be a really good show, because obviously Nuneaton Borough, through various reasons, and I think probably bad ownership over years is one of the main ones, but Mark will confirm all that next week. Obviously went out of business, lost their ground. They've had to reform as a fans-owned club. Mark's a director of that club, and he's coming on next week. Nuneaton Town FC, they've renamed themselves. They're currently, unfortunately, not in Nuneaton. They're playing in Bedworth's ground. So, yeah, let's look forward to that next week. Mark, thanks for coming on as well and joining in this week. It bed you in for next week. You know what to expect. But I tell you what, let me go. I want to talk about this. So I'm going to show you. Let me show you this. Now, here's another point I want to make about where our game is now. Guys, if you go back 30, 40 years, the atmosphere at English football was probably amongst, all right, let's not talk about South America. They're lunatics and always have been. But the atmosphere in English grounds was probably about the best atmosphere you could get in Europe at the time, right? I would say now it's the worst, okay? And there are a number of reasons, but well, let me show you this. This is Panathinaikos, and you just will not see this type of support. And I'm going to give you my personal reasons why you would not see this type of support in a British ground anymore. Or maybe we didn't ever, but look at this. And this typifies the atmosphere in European football now. You wouldn't see that in the Premier League.
Unbelievable.
It is, but you see, this is. I mean, it's the Bundesliga. Just they're as fanatical, and the atmospheres and everything else. And I do believe is because the Premier League now. One, there's a lot. I think we're probably the most restricted fan base in Europe, in the world, actually, in terms of rules and regulations, and can't do this, you can't do that, you can't say the wrong thing, you can't. You know, you've got to watch P's and Q's. And I don't mean about crossing a line, by the way, but within a line, you know, and you know, so I think the English supporters are probably the most restricted, you know. And I'm not saying I'm a supporter of people with flares, but again, all over Europe, and even in Scotland, you know, you look at Celtic, Rangers, and all them. They put on these flares and make, you know, an unbelievable atmosphere. And I'm not saying that's the right way ahead, by the way, but I think the problem we got is the Premier League, above all other leagues, whilst it might be the most successful league in the world, is also become an international league above all else. And the grounds now probably 50% full of tourists who are not really passionate, genuine supporters like we used to have.
You know what, Gaz? What would be quite interesting, and I'll probably agree with you, but what would be really interesting is, let's say, atmospheric grounds of the past, like Fields, Newcastle, Anfield, Leeds, and it'd be great to hear from supporters who used to go back in the day, but still go now, and see if they think that there's a difference, and why. What's the reason why they think there's a difference? I agree with you guys. The modern stadia is too comfortable, isn't it? You know what I mean? You're sitting on them lovely padded seats and that you can almost like nod off.
Yeah.
That's not sort of like an environment to get you like rowdy and excited. Standing up, obviously,
I mean, there are many reasons. I mean, probably one of the big reasons in this country is that every Premier League club adopts allocated seating, so that prevents your people that want to
gathering. The masses
they can't gather. So that is a definite passion killer. Yeah. But also, I think you look at the sides that have been promoted. For instance, now. Nottingham Forest. I mean, last season, the atmosphere in that ground is bouncing. Another good example was a few years ago when Huddersfield went in for that a season or two, wasn't it? Their atmosphere was truly amazing. You see these clubs come up into the Premier League and the atmosphere is absolutely kicking. If they stay in the Premier League long enough, then they'll get infested by the tourists. And I'll say this now, Liverpool is supposedly the greatest atmosphere in English football, if not in Europe and all that, maybe on their European nights. But I'm sorry, and maybe Liverpool fans will disagree with me, but I've been to a few games at Liverpool, and once they finish singing You'll Never Walk Alone, you're nothing special up there like you used to be. Why? Because you used to have the whole ground getting involved. Not just the cop, but there's so many other reasons. But why is our game the way it is when the rest of Europe have got these truly, truly amazing? And I do put a lot of it down to the obviously the allocated seating. However, I also think there's a massive problem with the fact that, one, you're pricing out working class people who generally are the people with the right level of passion to create the atmosphere. It's becoming a rich person's game up in the Premier League. But that's enough from me. What do you think?
Well, I've said my bit, so
yeah, you have, yeah. Nige, Phil, got any view on it?
I think, like, my dad's 88 now, and he was a Newcastle season ticket.
Oh, hang on, Nige, hang on. It's all right, Phil. Sorry.
Yeah, my dad's 88, and he was, I think, up until he was about 75, he was a season ticket holder at Newcastle, and I went to a few games with him, and he said, I'm not enjoying it anymore. He said the atmosphere, it's quiet, he got bored with it. And I went to a few games when they weren't, and they're not doing that well now, but when they weren't doing well at all, it was boring.
Yeah.
It was boring. Whereas in the old days when my dad used to take me into the Leazes End, it was crazy. It was crazy. Whereas now.
Yeah. I think Newcastle do you know what? And I don't know if this is an example, Newcastle fans might disagree, but when they first got all that money and they started looking like there was going to be a level of success at long last, rightly so for that club and their fans as well, by the way. I love the Newcastle fans. But at the end of the day, that first season, there was a terrific atmosphere there, I feel.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, absolutely.
But are we back down the road of, because they became this richest club in the world, did we then start getting the influx of all the tourists and, the money, possibly? I don't know what the ticket prices are like there. If you dilute the passion, then it ain't going to be there, is it?
No.
Yeah. You're right, Gaz. The success certainly brings the casual fan in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could be right, mate.
We've lost Nigel for the moment. I think he's having a few issues at home there, so we'll.
But it's like with, like you say, with a normal family, if you want to take your kid down to, from Bedford to watch Tottenham, Arsenal, your car, your parking, your trains, the costs are crazy.
Yeah.
And with all the, the interest rates and et cetera, people, and like you say, with the TV, you can watch Sky, you can Amazon for £6 a month or whatever.
Yeah.
There was a guy on Twitter that I saw this morning that he decided he wasn't going to take his kids to the Manchester United Nottingham Forest match last night. Him and his 2 kids. It cost about 170. Instead, he went to who was it? Altrincham and Macclesfield in the FA Trophy. Cost about 29 quid in total. The kids were hooked on it. Yeah, atmosphere, passion. The kids loved it. So he's put that all over Twitter, like promoting a non-league game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we say this week in, week out, get to your local clubs. That's where, one, the kids can get him. Yeah, Nigel's back. Hang on. Because Nigel, why can't I get him on? Where are you, Nigel? Hang on.
Come back, Callie.
Here we are. Okay, before I say any more, Nigel was about to speak about something. Go on, Nigel.
I forgot what we talking about now.
We was on about the decline in atmosphere and the maybe the passion of supporters and stuff like that.
Costs and
well, I mean the whole game's done a big circle really, and it's since the days I was playing with atmospheres. I mean, like the VAR for a start doesn't help, does it? Because you don't know whether to cheer a goal, whether it's in, whether it's going to stand. So, maybe that's kicking some of the enthusiasm out of people. It's just been, for me, there's just been too many changes in the game. Far too many. And like you said before, it just seems to be one change after another. Once we got fed up with that change, let's create a new change and ruin the game even more. So the thing is, we know it's not going to be reversible. It's not going to happen. So you just got to go along with it now, and it's tough shit.
Yeah, no, that's it. Right, I've got a few comments coming up. Let's just cover through them. Mark has come back saying top level football is being taken away from the. Yeah, I mean, we've seen that going on for quite a while. Ian is coming up with German football is really cheap to go to and watch. Maybe the reasons they get the big crowds. I think the model of the German league is fantastic. I think they've got it right. They have to be 51% owned by the fans. They do have big money in there, but not like obviously the out of control. How out of control is in the Premier League, but they still managed to pay enough wages that Harry Kane's happy to be there and stuff like that. So I think their model is the model that I wish you could adopt here, but obviously maybe that wouldn't suit the. What am I going to look for now? The marketing ability of the Premier League to sell it to the world, But yeah, German football, very good point. Another point from Ian coming up. Ian's in Kilmarnock. 3 Scottish teams have been charged in the last few days for setting off flares at League Cup semi-finals. You do seem to see a lot of it, but maybe now they're clamping down. Jordan, I'm sure the other day, Man United released a statement saying about price. Yes, they did. You're absolutely right. They whacked their prices up. They have whacked their kids' tickets going from £25 to 60 quid. What? No, I know. I think I see there was ticket, a £45 adult ticket would jump up to £66. So if they're going to stop concessions, then that statement from Jordan is correct. That is scandalous. So I know that they're moving from £45 for an adult ticket up to £66. I know that. So if they're going to stop the concessions, then what a concession is currently paying £25 will go to £66.
Unbelievable.
Jeez, man,
crazy.
It's depressing.
I listened to a debate on Talk Sport with old Simon Jordan. So he was saying there's nothing wrong with the chairman putting the prices up if because otherwise they lose money. But the problem is the money ultimately goes to the players and the agents. So that was as a former owner, that was his argument over it. I know what he means, but it's like you say, it's the market. We were talking a few weeks ago. There's always going to be someone that pays it. So, yeah, little Johnny and his dad won't be able to go anymore. Someone else will take their place because of the hype of the Premier League.
It's outrageous.
I know it is.
Absolutely. That, I mean, I didn't realise they would do. I knew they were doing that jump up from 45 to 60. I didn't know they were going to crap all over the younger people. Where do they think the new generation of fans going to come from? Oh yeah, probably from Eton.
Gaz, the problem is they will come because the marketing guys for the Premier League are so fantastic at their job. They market it as if to say, this is unmissable, you must come. Even Manchester United, the dog shit team at the moment, they're still on every forum. They're talked about in every show, and they get quite, because it's the name Manchester United. So they're marketing the Manchester United name as opposed to the actual dog shit on the pitch.
Well, on this show, we say, screw them, go to FC Manchester or FC United or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Go and watch them.
Go to Altrincham, go to Macclesfield.
I think as well, the whole product is being, again, I'm coming back to this. I think they're building or creating an environment for the TV supporter, but also they're creating that environment. You said it yourself, didn't you? The cushioned seats, the fancy food, and all this. So they're creating an environment where maybe not more middle upper class people are going to be going there because the working class can't afford it. As much as, like you say, but if you've got a family that are struggling to put food on the table, whether they want to be at that, you're right. Some people would probably put that before food, mate. And that's what's so infuriating. I've just got to mention this one, and mate, I'm going to tell everyone a secret now. Right. So away fans don't sing anything at Newcastle because they're so knackered after walking up the away end. Here's the secret, everybody. I'm going to let it out. As you go in the tunnel at Newcastle up to the away end, as you get near them stewards, get your mate and you start limping. All right. And you limp up to the turnstiles, and a kind Geordie steward will come up and say, "Sir, go up in the lift." I've been there 5 times.
Yeah.
Every time. I've never walked up them stairs once.
Never.
I'll tell you what,
Never.
They got the smallest turnstiles as well at Newcastle.
Yeah, well, that's another good thing for me as well.
I'm talking sideways.
They are. You've got to be skinny to get through the turnstile.
I'd turn sideways to get through it.
Yeah, you have. You imagine me. So one of the 4 times I was going to play the game inside once I got through the turnstile. And I went to get in the turnstile, couldn't get through it. So they went, "All right, mate, come round," and they let me in the gate. And because they let me in the gate, the guy at the lift went, "Oh, in here, mate."
That's the last thing you should have bloody well done.
Oh dear, I've walked down them. It's easy walking down them, But yeah, that is funny. Just what we got here. No, that's the Man United one. Sorry, I'm getting quite a lot of interaction tonight. I'm trying to keep up with it, people, but please keep it coming. We love it. Also, travel costs in the UK. Yeah, so right. Not only is it so much cheaper to watch football abroad, the travel costs are so much. This country's become just dreadful, isn't it? Nick, Paul, I'll catch up now with everyone. If you don't call that pricing out football fans from watching so-called top-class teams, then I don't know what is. Yeah, absolutely. I will stick to watching my Crawley. Yeah, Nick's a Crawley Town supporter. Dan, I think I said it the other week, actually. Dan went down and covered a Crawley game and hooked up with Nick. And, yeah, whenever you, I will touch this in a minute, but, yeah, whenever we're at a game, please always come up and say hello. And we've got Jim here. So we've got a bit of interest from Nuneaton, which obviously Mark's coming on next week. Nuneaton Town Football Club is away, and that's fan owned, and we're going to find out a lot more about what it is to have a fan owned club next week when Mark's on. So I can't wait for that. Right, we've got to do this now, otherwise I've done my little bit of silliness for nothing. So it's time for this, people. It's time for Gary. What's the score? Right, this is where I ask you guys, have you got any standout games? What I will do, we'll run through from Premier League down to League 2, and then I will go through the FA Trophy results as well and highlight a couple. But any highlighted games from you guys? I mean, Nigel, you got to surely.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
you want to highlight Man City for other reasons, don't you?
not that. I mean, if you're talking about highlighting games, I mean, the one today that's just happened, Tottenham 3, Chelsea 4.
Was it 4-3? Was it 4-3?
Yeah, they were 2-0 down, weren't they, Chelsea? So,
Yep.
And then there's a couple from yesterday in the Championship. I think QPR 3-0.
Yeah, massive results for QPR.
Portsmouth 3-0 against Bristol City as well. So
much needed, yeah.
Yeah, there's been some real strange results over the weekends, but I think them sort of three sort of stand out for me at the moment.
Do you want to touch on the Man City though? Because you were talking to me before the game.
Well, they're not playing well at the moment, are they? But they've equalised. Lewis scored the goal, and then he's actually been sent off for a tackle that he got to the ball first. The other guy's actually gone in on him, but they both went down, and the referees decided that it was a reckless tackle, and he sent him off. Now, if VAR would have had a look at it, they probably would have reversed the decision, but for some reason they weren't allowed to. So obviously Pep Guardiola was going mad at the end of the match with the referees. So it is a subject where, VAR was brought in to make sure that mistakes weren't made on big decisions in football. So a player getting sent off, for me, that's a big decision. So VAR should have got involved in that.
Yeah, they don't even look at it.
Yeah, that's a big decision. They've gone down to 10 men, where with 11 men, possibly they could nick the game. Not saying they would have done, but obviously, that's a big decision to make. Yeah,
definitely. And again,
when you see it,
I don't know.
When you see it in what proper time, it does look a bit of a reckless tackle. But when they slow it down, he actually gets his foot on the ball first, and then the other lad comes in on him. So it was a hard one to take, really. So what do you think, Phil?
While you're talking about that with Man City, Nick Paul's asked a question. What do you think the problem is with Man City? What a run of poor results they have been on. Any thoughts on it? Are they simply having a bad run for once?
Well, you're always going to have a little bad run as a football team.
Sooner or later, you've got to, haven't you?
Yeah, Phil will tell you that. But again, we touched on this last week. I just think the squad they've got, some of the top players are now getting to the point where they're not at the best. De Bruyne is still class, but he's not at his best. And I think, there's got to be some new faces brought in, and Pep can work his magic on them. But, sort of Grealish hasn't featured much this year, has he? And Kyle Walker's not been at his best. De Bruyne has had injuries. So, yeah, it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see what happens with this. I mean, Arsenal drawn today. So, is it Liverpool's title already? I don't know. It looks like it.
Yeah. You've got to wonder that. We're going to run over the hour if that's okay with you guys. If any of you got to get away, let me know. And but we're going to run over the hour. But quickly, we're obviously getting quite a bit of interaction over this one. Wasn't it a second yellow card? and the VAR cannot review it.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
that's
But that's
the
a
law.
crap. That's a crap rule. That's why can't I view a second yellow card when it shouldn't have been a second yellow card? That's
Well,
the thing. If it's
yeah.
clear cut, fair enough.
It'd be interesting to see. I'm assuming City are going to appeal it. It would be interesting now to see what the outcome is, whether it gets repealed. Another one there from Jordan. Foden is non-existent, or has been non-existent.
I mean, sort of like we're all looking at Man City, Liverpool, and Arsenal. Chelsea are bang there now. They're right up there.
Yeah, they are.
And they're hitting form. They've put a lot of games together.
Any other results standing out for you, Nige?
Forest again, 3-2 at Man United.
Yeah,
that was a result for them. We're all expecting Forest to be down the bottom this year, weren't we?
No, they've done really well, haven't they?
Yeah, as much as I hate saying it.
Derby. Yeah, they have done well. Phil, what about yourself? Any outstanding results?
Well, obviously Newcastle's my team, and what I don't like, what I try not to do at the football club, we've got all the big screens. I try and not look in the boardroom. We've got the screens. I try and not watch the results, and this comes from my dad. I always don't want to know any results and watch match of the day. Nigel's already spoiled the Chelsea game for me today. and I saw
at least you got something to look forward to.
Yeah, I did see Burnley 2-2 at half time, and I didn't know the score. And I watched match today last night, and normally on my Facebook it's normally Newcastle shite or Toon Black and White Army, but I just don't know. I just don't know where they're going.
Yeah,
Brentford they're a hard side to beat at home, though, aren't they? Brentford.
They are.
Yeah. They're another side I wouldn't have expected to hold their own up in the Premier League, but they've done. And and I've got to say this: they are a club who do try and help the fans there as well.
I've got to say this, guys. I said it last week when we was talking about my days at Watford when we finished second. Yeah, we won most of all our home games that season. And I think Brentford have won 17 out of 19 home games or something like that. So that's why they're doing so well in the league.
Yeah.
Because they're winning the home games.
They've got great support. They've got fantastic support.
Yeah. No, and well, do you know? Well, that goes to show you, doesn't it? They've got great support because they're a club that are trying not to price their supporters out of the game.
Yeah.
You know, they've chose to renew the top every 2 years, which is brilliant. They've kept their pricing sensible, and the reward is their fans are passionately behind them. Just a quick one there for you, Phil. This is from Nick. Don't say you're a Newcastle fan too loud. My wife's next to me and she's a Mackham. Or he says Sunderland fan. But yeah.
Honestly, with Sunderland, I want Sunderland back in the Premiership because I think any derby game, as Nigel knows, it's brilliant. So I don't. I said that to my dad. My dad probably hates Sunderland. But I'd like them in the.
He want the derby back though. Deep down, you want the derby. Yeah, I know that from the Watford Luton situation. As much as you want to see them suffer, you miss your derbies.
Yeah.
Right, what we got here? Bournemouth doing very well with home form this season. That is that is a proper derby game, right, Darren? Games that have stood out for you. I am going to run through the FA Trophy if you want to hold off on that for the moment.
Yeah. I was just going to say just quickly, Hadley stepped forward. They lost to Oxford City 2-1 in the FA Trophy yesterday, but they took their largest ever away following. And obviously Oxford City were National League last season, so they put up a valiant effort, but went down 2-1. But yeah, just thought I'd give Hadley a little shout.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the clubs that have contacted me as well, which I'll touch on towards the end of the show. Okay. So I'm going to quickly run through. Let me. Right. Okay. So obviously, up there, you've got to mention Palace getting. Well, no, you haven't got to mention Palace. I think because Palace tend to beat Man City anyway, even at Main Road, I was going to say then, even at the oh God, even at the Etihad. But I thought, yeah, Brentford is a worthy mention, and Nottingham Forest. I think down in the again, as Nigel pointed out, Portsmouth, QPR desperate for points, both of them. Both getting good results. Portsmouth 3-0 against Bristol City. QPR 3-0 against Norwich. Put a smile on Darren's face. They definitely worth a mention there. But Birmingham down in League One, still going well with an away win at Barnsley 2-1. Wrexham's still going well there. They got a win. Okay, Stockport County getting a 2-0 win over Exeter. God, couldn't get out then. Right. Well, let me just stop there for a moment, because what I want to do now is just show you and the quality of the food that they produce. So they produce some food for their fans, Christmas food. And these are just two of them. There was more than this, but this is, I did a pigs in blanket one, but it is the first one. So Christmas balm, £6. Turkey stuffing, pigs in blankets. Looks like there's an egg on there. £6. Probably 20 quid if you went to a Premier League game. But there you go. Doesn't that look nice? And here, look at this. Hang on a minute. Sorry, mate. Go on.
I was going to say, no one wants to be sitting next to me if I'd eat that. Put it that way.
and look at this one. And this is their Christmas in a cup. So you've got a Christmas dinner in a cup with Bovril. £5.50. Fair play, Stockport. I mean, you know, it's not, you know, it's good. It's good. You know what I mean? Like I say, I mean, you know, the prices in the Premier League of food and drink now. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
So
Gary, when you come to us, like Darren had yesterday, in the boardroom at halftime,
yeah,
my wife makes a lemon drizzle cake, sausage rolls, biscuits, tea, coffee. After the game, there's a top meal if you want it.
Yeah. No, and I'm seeing that in a lot of clubs. Their hospital, you know, the non-league scene is developing in a massive way, and their hospitality is growing and growing, which is great. And it's said, I mean, at Kettering, I think it's, if you pay £50, you get a 3-course meal in the hospitality suite. You get a guaranteed seat in the ground. Obviously, it's a different, you know, because there's less seats and standing in their ground. You know, I think it's £40 or £50. You can't go wrong with that when you consider
40, I think.
Is it 40? It's 40, isn't it? £40.
25 plus obviously half-time refreshments.
Yeah, that's right. You see, so for £40, they're offering a 3-course meal. You get a programme.
Yeah.
You get the manager and maybe a player come up and all that sort of stuff as well. You get refreshments at half time. You get a private bar. Obviously, you pay for it, but they're not overly priced.
Yeah.
And you get a guaranteed seat in the ground. And that's the difference now, isn't it? You know, and the quality of football ain't bad at all. You know, right? Okay, sorry, because we are. It's been a good show actually. So, yeah, I mentioned there Stockport County. Well done to them. Got to mention in League Two, Port Vale 0, Walsall 1. Proper top of the table clash there. This is a picture of a cracking support from Walsall at Port Vale. Great support there. Looks like it's sold out their allocation. So that's Walsall at Port Vale. That put Walsall top. Port Vale were top, but now Walsall top with a game in hand. So, yeah, definitely worth a mention there. And so I'm just looking through now. Right, I'm going to move on quickly now because I really did want to make sure we covered off the trophy. I'll run through. So Brentford going out Southend 5-3. What a game. Aldershot 3-1 against Wildston. Alfreton against Spennymoor Town was 1-0 to Spennymoor. Altrincham drawing with Macclesfield. Again, that's what are they? Step 4, 3, 3.
It's step 1 versus step 5 or 4.
Macclesfield 4.
Yeah,
Got to be 4, I think.
Yeah, Altrincham step 1, aren't they?
Yeah. Altrincham winning 4-2 on penalties there. Barnet 2-0 against Averley. Bashford 2-2 with Halifax. Bashford winning 6-5 on penalties. I'm going quick as I can, guys. 1-0 to Boreham Wood against Eastbourne. 1-0 to Boston United against Alvechurch. Braintree getting a draw with Forest Green Rovers, but winning Forest Green Rovers winning 5-3 on penalty. Forest Green Rovers looking to build a timber stadium, aren't they? All timber stadium now. Been given the go ahead as well, I believe. I mean, they've got a weird like eco-friendly one now, but now he's going to build a timber. Yeah, you wouldn't want to fire there, would you? Really?
No.
You wouldn't want to hold your firework display at the ground, really.
No,
would you? No. He's a funny fella, anyway. No, that's postponed. Chorley 3-2 against Warrington Raylands, and the one that I can never pronounce. Flied, is it?
File.
I should just think in my head. File, a now file, and they've got a lovely ground. I know, haven't they? I noticed their ground's cracking. 2-2 with Kidderminster. Kidderminster winning 3-0 on penalties. Nearly there. Gainsborough Trinity 2-1 against Russell Olympic. Hampton Richmond 3-0 against #United. Oxford City 2, Hadley 1, as you mentioned there, and a club that we will be visiting soon as well. I've got to mention this one. Sittingbourne 4, Enfield 2, which I believe Sittingbourne will now be his first time ever reached this level of the FA Trophy. And if I'm also right in saying, and I say this tongue in cheek, I think they're the lowest ranked club left in the competition. Slough Town 2, Maidenhead 1, Solihull Moors 1, Radcliffe 2. There's another big result. Radcliffe beating Solihull Moors, actually. That's a giant killing in terms of non-league. Stockton Town beating Oldham Athletic 2-0. Great result for Stockton Town there. Sutton United 3, Ebbsfleet 3. Sutton winning on penalties 4-2. Worthing 1, Gosport 1. Gosport winning again. That again, I think is probably similar. 3-2 on penalties. York City 3, Darlington 1. Whew. There you go. Now I'm out of breath. That's the FA Trophy. Yeah, that's cracking, that, isn't it? Great to see. And there was some cracking crowds out in that weather. I did have, and I haven't uploaded it unfortunately, but I did have one at Stockton. The weather was appalling, but I had 1,600 there. You know, Dad had a good following from Oldham there as well, to be fair to them as well. But yeah, that's that bit out of the way. Let's see if we got any more questions. Here you go, Nick Paul Bargain. I'm guessing that is to do with what we were saying about Kettering Town. That won't be QPR then. Okay, we probably missed the point on that one. Peter Jones, good evening, Peter Jones. What we got from Peter: it would be a joy to make football grounds dementia friendly. Interesting. It would be a joy to make grounds dementia friendly. Pete, obviously, that's interesting. So I'm trying to think. Some clubs have them sensory rooms and that now, don't they? I don't know if that is any good for people with dementia, but interesting to understand how that would work, Peter. That may be something you could maybe even pop on the show one day and explain that. That's an interesting one. Obviously, Nigel, you deal with that every day.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, you know, Nigel's cares for his mum, bless him. What do you think, Nigel, to that?
It'd be hard. I think it'd be hard to actually. But if I took my mum to the football, say, with the way her dementia is now, it'd be hard for me to enjoy the game because my mum's forgetting what's happening every 5 minutes. So she'd be asking me questions over and over again. So for me, like, I wouldn't really be able to enjoy the game because I'd be explaining everything to my mum over and over again. And that's, you know, I never knew any of this before my mum got dementia, and it's really hard to deal with.
Well, there you go. So Nuneaton, they allow free care to come along with dementia sufferers. That's good. That's really good. Yeah, that's an interesting one, Peter. Well done, Nuneaton, as well on that. Enjoying the insights, Kevin Sherry.
I think it depends on. I think it depends on the level of dementia that you've got, really.
Well,
absolutely,
it's like my dad. My dad's got dementia and Alzheimer's.
Right.
That's what my mum's got.
And he's 88, but he goes to a club every Thursday and he sings live 5 songs. He does Neil Diamond. He knows all the words. There's like 120 people there dancing, and yet I'll ring him. I rang him tonight. I said, "Oh, Dad, did you watch the Newcastle game yesterday on Match of the Day? Oh, what was that 1-1?" I said, "No, they lost 4-2. He went, "Oh, okay." But he can go to a club and he can sing, but he doesn't remember anything.
No, that's right. It's difficult. Like I said, I think it all depends on what level of dementia you're at. You know, if you've got early stages of it, you could, you know, probably go with someone and still enjoy it. And
I guess one point there, like Mark mentioned, what they do at Nuneaton. If you've got someone suffering Alzheimer's dementia, then they have a carer. The carer doesn't pay to get in the ground. Absolutely great. I don't know if that happens in. I know if you're disabled, you can go in with a carer for free at most grounds at every level. Does that include dementia? I wonder. Interesting. You've got my brain going, Peter, and I'd love to hear a bit more about that. Yeah, you got me ticking there. Really good. But yeah, okay. Look, we are running heavily over. Have I covered everything I want to cover off? I think I have. Other than, okay, I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to have bring up anything and have your last say. I'm going to do mine now. So, because I just want to cover off a couple of things. Firstly, as you all know, our charity of choice is Team Michaela, who we raise money for children with cancer, and every penny we raise goes to that child as what they call a treasure box or a treat box, and it's £500, and whatever the child wants, whether it's a laptop, an iPad, a phone, a holiday, what for the family, whatever. And we've already handed over £500, so we've given one child a treat already. Thank you all so much for that support, and it's just an amazing thing to do. And I know we've been doing a football card, which is now full. We've had some really generous donations, I have to say, as well. Thank you for that. And we've had many people say, keep the money if I win for the charity. Absolutely fantastic. And we've had people paying £10 for a £5 team. So I applaud you for that. I really do. And we are now dependent who wins the card, which Dan will do on live on our Facebook page, I guess, at some point tomorrow or Tuesday. We may reach a second £500 for a child at Christmas as well. That'd be fantastic. Or go on any of our platforms. The links are there for the page we've set up for raising money. We give, every time we raise £500, that is what we give them. So we know we're giving a treat to a child with cancer. So please, if you want to donate, just drop on any of our platforms and you'll see a donate button, and keep it going. And thank you so much to everyone that's got involved with helping raise that money. So that's fantastic, and that's an ongoing thing we're going to keep doing. So that's great. The other thing is, so I'm working on something. I'm going to briefly say about it now. So I'm going to be working on a series that will be on our website, which will be called The Modern Game. And we're going to be exploring every aspect of it, going to be talking to different people. We're going to be looking back to the old days as it was, and controversy in there as well. You know, we're really gonna push the boundary on it. That will be starting some point in January, and it will be I think a fortnightly series on our website, but the links will all go up on our social media. So that will be interesting. As well as also we're going to be in the new year releasing our non-league focus show, but I'll tell you more about that nearer the time. Darren's heavily involved with me on that one as well. We also, sorry it's going on, we've had a great response to clubs who would like us to come along and do what we call an article. It goes on our website. You can't lay it out on Facebook the way we do on our website, and it's an article. So it's videos, pictures, and obviously writing literature. And it's all about promoting the club, not just about the game on a match day, but what they do for the community. I was talking to Leek Town, who we will be visiting. Any Leek Town supporters on there, we will be visiting you guys the end of February when you play Guiseley. And I know that yesterday morning, although that had been called off, they would have had 100 kids playing football at Leek Town on a Saturday morning. And that's what we got to promote about non-league football as well. The fact that they are deep rooted into a community. And that's why you mustn't lose these clubs. And we've had a massive response. So we've been visiting Nuneaton, Hull Beach. Just so many. And again, any clubs out there watching this, if you think we can help promote your club, then drop me a line. It's on there, but you can drop me a non-league email address. We've got is nonleague@properfootball.co.uk. I should have put it up on there. I will next week. That's nonleague@properfootball.co.uk. If you want us to come along and do a piece on the club, then let us know. It'd be our pleasure.
We're first in the queue.
Of course, we're going to be talking about that. We're going to come down and do a piece on Arsley as well, and we can't wait as well for that. And Nigel, I think you're coming to Leek Town in February with us, aren't we? Going to make a day of it.
Yeah. I look forward to that.
It'd be great.
Anything like the last road trip, it should be good.
Yeah. Carlton Town one was fantastic, wasn't it, against Stockton? Yeah, that was fantastic. Right, that's me done. Let me just go back to the comment board and make sure. Let's cover off what we got. All carers should be allowed to go free in any ground. We're not saying they don't at the moment. We just don't know. But it does provoke the question. Go on the cherries. Okay. Okay, lovely. Okay, Darren, let's give you the floor for the moment and then wrap it up.
Well, what do you want me to say? Hopefully this Storm Dara is not pissed off now, so we can, not have the upheaval of postponed matches, not knowing where to go. Is it going to be on? Stuff like
Until
that.
the next one. Yeah.
Exactly. But I still haven't made up my plans for this coming week, but I've got a couple in mind, so we'll see.
Nige?
Yeah, it's pretty good week. I've got to say, like the FA Cup draw last week was absolutely brilliant. And it, the Tamworth Tottenham match, two things in that. That's the fairy tale that some of them players at Tamworth are never going to be able to play Tottenham. Might never be good enough standard to play at that level, but they get in the dream tie. On the downside of things, if they did manage to hold Tottenham to a draw, what a payday that would have been if they'd gone for the replay at White Hart Lane.
See, this backfires on them, doesn't it? In the last round, you had three clubs that could have had replays: Oldham, Kettering, and Harborough. What would that have meant to Harborough having Reading come to their ground? It'd be
massive, wouldn't it? For the whole community as well. Yeah, the whole reach. Probably the TV companies would have got involved, so it's even more.
100%. Yeah. But I know we've had this discussion, and I know Darren, particularly yourself, you think it's a good idea getting it over and done with, but there's such a bad side to it as well. And again, coming back quickly, the fact that the FA didn't even consult anyone outside of the Premier League on this decision. And the fact that they've not gone, look, you know what? We know there are non-league sides that could maybe last another year or two off the back of some of that.
Yep.
So we're going to put this in place of it and give you the opportunity. Nothing, just
money aside, though. Money aside, though. That's a fairy tale, isn't it? That's
brilliant.
That is what the FA Cup's all about. Then players get to play against some of the heroes, maybe. You know, they get that one-off experience that they probably would never ever have got. And that'll live with them for the rest of their lives.
And there's some other fantastic results. George. I mean, Altrincham playing Liverpool. That's a huge game for Altrincham. And the local derby. You've got.
Man City.
I mean, all right. The Met Police might not be too happy with the Dagenham one.
Yeah.
You know, they'll probably put their head in their hands on that one because that ain't going to be fun down there at all.
Yeah.
You know, that isn't just going to. They're already putting extra precautions in place because Dagenham is a West Ham area, and we all know West Ham Millwall. It don't happen. So that draw, you can just imagine when they pulled that out. Millwall 36, and there you go. The Met Police Commissioner sat there looking. Millwall 36, playing 14. Dagenham and Redbridge. Oh, fuck! No, please! You can't. You just imagine it. Every copper in London. No.
Yeah.
There's one other.
Man City Salford. Is it
That
Man
one.
City?
That's it.
Newcastle,
Them and all.
Newcastle, Bromley.
Of course, Bromley up at Newcastle.
Leeds,
it is a great.
Leeds Harrogate. Leeds v Harrogate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, we should have looked at that. I didn't think to look at the FA Cup. And you're absolutely right. We should have looked at that because there is some fantastic Leeds Harrogate.
Yeah.
That's a massive game for Harrogate.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge. Brilliant. That's why we love the FA Cup. And that's why the FA Cup should be glorified again. Quickly, we'll come to Phil now, but just quickly there. You should come to Hendersford Town, mate. Look, absolutely. Look, if you know, especially the power of the fans saying to a club, "Oh, look, why don't you get proper football?" We have to do it through the club because of what we want to do. So we need access. We need to be able to interview people, and so we do have to talk to the club. We'd happily, wherever any club would like us to, we will make the effort to get there one way or another.
Right.
You know, but Hendersford Town, I'd like to go there actually because it's a cracking ground as well.
I would. They got a new manager. I know the manager, Gavin Hurren. Really lovely guy. So
Kieran, if you know people at the club, tell them to drop me an email. Remember what I said: non-league at properfootball.co.uk, and we will get something sorted. And if we can't get there, we'll send Darren.
Kick him up the arse.
I'm just going to say very quickly goodbye. Oh, what have I done? Sorry, I caught my board there. I'm just going to say, look, everybody, please have a safe week. Thank God the storm's over till the next one, and we'll be back next week 6:30. And we've got Mark from Nuneaton Borough. Again, be safe all week. One last quick thing before I hand over to Phil. We've been getting a lot of interest in our bucket hats. People saying, "Oh, can I buy one? Do you think we should get a batch in and sell them?" I don't know. Would you like one? Would you buy one, a bucket hat or a pin badge? We're thinking about it because it's costing us a lot of money to get to these clubs.
Yeah.
Phil, I'm going to let you finish the.
Yeah, just quickly. Darren, did you send the video you did yesterday to the guys?
Oh, what, the outtake?
So we're in the dressing room. Darren says, Nige, you love this, and I'm stupid being a footballer. He's doing an interview in the dressing room, and Tommy Cooney, the manager, comes in. So we're doing a nice interview, and all of a sudden, Tommy takes his trousers down, bends down, and I'm in the middle of this interview, and I just had to start laughing.
Well, it was. I was filming Phil doing a quick interview, a 1 minute interview kind of thing. I'm asking him rapid fire questions. He's answering. I ask him a question, and suddenly he's just like, I seem distracted, and Tom is behind me.
Put his pants down.
And then Phil cracks up laughing. He points. I turn around, suddenly see this hairy ass in my face. And Tommy, the manager, living up to his his surname, he completely lost the plot, didn't you, Phil? Yeah.
I did, but I couldn't concentrate.
I've got it though, Gaz. I'll send it to you and Kelly on the group.
It would have been funny if he let Rick know, though.
I should have known. I should have known, Nigel. You know what I mean?
Just Phil's reaction.
Oh dear. Okay,
I
then.
just want to say.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
Just want to say thanks to you guys for what you do. It's brilliant. And I always say that to Nigel on his DJing. He's everywhere. I put it everywhere. Everybody's sick of it. Oh, not again, another song.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Phil. But we have fun on it.
We didn't get to talk about Burnley either, but that's
That's another time.
Another time, because you'll come on again now. Now we've got the audio sorted.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's much better, and you've enjoyed. You'll be coming on more often, hopefully.
Well, yeah, because I said tonight to Darren, I couldn't do it. Then all of a sudden, we've been doing stuff. I went to Tilly's. Let's have tea early. I want to go on the show.
Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. I know, we do. We enjoy it, don't we?
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
It's good just talking football, and it's good because you've got fans and ex-pros on the show, so you're getting a contrast of. Although I think we all got the same views on most of it, to be fair. But anyway,
exactly.
People of a certain age, I think. Just one last thing there. Obviously, someone's saying about they shouldn't be we're not going to cover it because we've covered it so many times, but people are saying it. Some earlier put one just like a minute ago. Semi-finals shouldn't be played at Wembley. Absolutely 100% should be at a neutral ground. We completely agree. Folks, I hope you've enjoyed it. We have run over quite heavily. You can, if you've only just joined us or you want to see the whole show, you can catch it up on any of our platforms, and I will be putting it on our website as well. So, you can catch it anytime you want.
Cheers, guys.
As always, I'm never ready for the end.
Stay on, Phil. Phil, stay on.
Stay on, Phil. Don't go anywhere. Right, everyone. Till next week. Be safe. And you know what? I put the wrong one on. Sorry, everyone. Here we go.